Well, hello everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola. Welcome to another one of our live coffee talk discussions, and with again one of our better friends on the planet Earth, and that would be Charlie Draper from Draper Law Office. How you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for inviting me.
Glad to be here. Got a nice hang here in the main office, and you know what we don't do sometimes is we talk about a lot of great things in the community and some of the challenges in the community and how we can make a difference in that whole scenario. But we typically get talking and then we forget to talk about you at all, which is crazy. So why don't you let us know kind of what you've done here in the years you've been here and how the whole story of Draper Law Office came to be.
So,
please.
My wife and I started this practice back in 1984. We're right across the street from the courthouse, or 705 West Emmett Street. And we've been here since probably 1986. We bought this building in 85, renovated it, and been here ever since. And we primarily practice two areas of law. Both are civil. We handle personal injury, and that includes automobile accidents, which is primarily auto accidents,
right.
About 90% of our practice. Slip and falls, trip and falls, and an occasional dog bite. But those are the three areas. There's a lot of, we don't do workers' comp, we don't do med mal, we don't do products liability.
Right.
And then the other half of the practice is family law. We have Linda Grzinski, who's been a lawyer for more than 30 years.
She's great.
And she does all the family laws, divorce, and everything that goes with that, including child support, visitation, primary custody, you name it. Anything, division of debts, division of assets. It's very complex and obviously emotionally charged.
Right.
You've got to you have to have an attorney with the right temperament for that. And so I find that, or we find that by focusing just on two areas, that we can better serve the community. And we get a lot of calls for other areas, whether it be criminal, DUI, employment, and we refer it out to other attorneys. But so I thoroughly enjoy it, doing what I do. As I was saying, I turned 78 this past Sunday.
You did not.
And so I continue to enjoy it. So we've been very thankful and very to the community, and we try to serve the community along the way, and we feel that we've made some difference in the community. And so it's just it's a good dynamic we have with the county and the city and just private organizations.
Sure.
You and I met at the chamber years and years ago.
A couple hundred years ago.
And which the St. Cloud Chamber, and it was a wonderful organization, and we were able to help that community in St. Cloud.
No doubt.
And so, and plus, the community needs you. They really do. It's there's not enough federal assistance, state assistance to help these organizations get through. And I mean, the animal services is so important,
right.
Very close to my heart. Teachers are great, and certainly, our community depends upon them, and more it seems like they're taking on more responsibilities than they signed up for.
Yeah.
So
likely. We'll continue that way, won't it?
it will.
I love, I always enjoy our conversations because we're friends and it's a great time to be. I don't think enough of us sit with friends and talk about things and talk community. But what you just said, the community needs us.
It does.
I don't think that gets said enough. We can sit and talk about the things that are happening in the community and, we did mention this before earlier today. Just it's a challenge sometimes to get up in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, maybe depending on what your ability to do that is with your work schedule. But we sit down and watch a little bit of the news in the morning on TV, and it can be challenging to look at.
Yes.
It can be very challenging. And if you watch it daily, it can be something you say, gosh, I've got to unplug from this. And I don't know, if I could help in that. So when you just said, the community needs us, that's a hope-connected moment when I hear somebody say that, which means there's still a way for us to help things,
I
right?
think there is. As I mentioned to you earlier, I would do volunteer work
Right.
if I felt that I was making a difference, and if I got out of it, if I found it as rewarding as I do practicing law. And I think that if more and more people realize that they can make a difference by, contributing. I'm not saying it's something that you have to do year round, but if you get involved in a cause that you thoroughly believe in, and it's going to help. I don't care, whether it's helping the homeless, whether it's helping our animal shelters. There's so many organizations out there that the public can really, with very little effort, contribute some time that can make a difference in what we do. And I think the results of what we see out there, just trying to help our neighbor, helping others who are less fortunate.
Yeah, no question. No question. I had a chance coming off exactly what you're saying. We've had some less than perfect weather in the last, again this week, and then week prior saw some very cold temperatures. Something that we may just say, well, we're going to go ahead and crank that heat up a couple degrees and make it, we'll put a log on the fire if we had that kind of a living scenario. But a friend and a leader in the St. Cloud area, Andrew Sullivan, public information officer in St. Cloud, works for the city and obviously, in St. Cloud Fire Rescue, St. Cloud Police Department. There isn't anybody better at what he, than Andrew at what he does. A lot of great ones in the area for sure, but Andrew's one of them, and we're good friends with Andrew. And so we had a chance to talk about the cold shelters, the cold weather shelters. And that's a tough challenge, right? That's another one of those things where, the community does need us, from what you said. Some folks don't have a safe place on a nightly basis. These weather things come in and these challenging nights, and now it's an unsafe place to stay. They don't have that place. And so, so Andrew and I had a chance to talk, and we were, from his help, we were sharing 2 places that have cold weather shelters. And without those people that are leading or informing other people of what's happening, or those folks that put, whether it's faith-based or governmental-based, without those people putting those places together, people are on their own.
Right. It's funny you should mention that, because I was going out last night. It must have been about 8:30 to just taking the garbage cans out and checking the mailbox. And as I was walking back to the house, I remember saying to myself, I'm glad I'm not homeless. It was cold and it was very windy. Yeah. And it just cut right through you. And you just wonder, how do these people who are homeless, how do they manage to get through this? Because it's, it really is almost unbearable. Yeah.
And I think it doesn't, and I might be wrong, and Andrew would know better than I, but I think it's more than 4 hours of 40 or less in temp, and then that kicks in those cold shelters without that. But I'm telling you, like you're saying, last night was not 40.
No.
And yet it was tough to believe that it would be a night that you could get through if it was for 12 hours.
And I think that if you could get more volunteers to help out, agencies or, departments like that, it's so mentally and emotionally rewarding.
Yeah.
That you're able to, it's not a 40-hour commitment. I mean, even if you commit 5 hours a week,
Yeah, right.
5 hours a month, if everyone would get involved, it would really make a big difference.
Right. But then we hear people say, and I know they've reached out to you before. I mean, 1986, you have seen the community change vastly.
Right.
And not just, I mean, I know we talk about the growth, the rate of growth in the county. Well, it's not just a numeric scenario. It's what comes with that, right?
Right.
The challenges of not just driving either. It's the safety thing, the public safety.
Sure.
So we talk about those kind of things sometimes. And but I think when we get up and you watch the news sometimes, you go, my gosh, there's nothing I can do as one person or one family. What can I do that's going to actually impact
Right.
the scenario? Well, that's not the case, though, right?
No. Another idea came to mind as a volunteer, and I think there was a program some time ago, and I don't know who sponsored it, but it would be to help like doing volunteer work in the schools as a reader for
Right.
people who struggled. I mean, we all have certain strengths and weaknesses, right? Someone might be good at reading, another might be good at math, and so if you could volunteer, put what you know to try to help a young child growing up. I mean, get them interested in something that would really interest them. That's not a big commitment on our part.
I know what you're talking about, and if I say it wrong, then my friend Carrie Avery over at the Education Foundation of Osceola County, he's going to say something to me. But if I'm correct, that is entitled still called the Book Buddies.
Book what?
Book Buddies.
Okay, yeah.
Bookmark Buddies, Book Buddies. And that is folks that are helping others read.
Yeah.
And now these days that has changed a tad. Certainly we also see where English is not the first
Right.
language spoken by a family, puts pressure on the kids sometimes.
Exactly.
So I know there are services being provided too as well for those kids. That's an ESOL, I believe, thing. But again, that's a great point. Where one or a few people
Right.
can make a big impact on families.
They can. And believe me, it makes sense if you can make a difference in a child's life. And I use the word child very liberally. I'm talking about anyone less than under 25 years old. If you can make a difference, an impact on someone, either helping them read, helping them sort through some problems that they're going through. I mean, you don't have to be a psychiatrist, or a mental health counselor,
Sure.
but just be a friend. Someone who they feel comfortable in confiding in.
Right.
And just give them the benefit of your wisdom, which is life's experiences, right?
Right.
Not Socrates' wisdom, but
Because we all need that.
we do.
No, we all need somebody to tell us they know everything. No, just kidding.
And so, and particularly, I know we offer family law services,
Right.
but I understand. There's a lot of families that are being raised by one, a single parent,
Of course.
and so that parent may have 2 or 3 jobs, and how much time can they devote to their child, and bringing them up and educating them and exposing them to, the things that children should be exposed to.
Right.
So if we had some organization that would assist in that, and an organization supported by the community, and I say community, by members of the community,
Of course.
if you can make a difference in one child's life, doesn't that make you feel good? It certainly would me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's if you think about it, I know, and this is certainly nothing that's going to be said that's not been said a million times, but you know, when you walk, I just envisioned this as you were saying it, you know, helping a kid in whatever facet that is, you know, when you get back in your car, you sit there for that second and you go, you know, why am I not doing this more often?
Right. And I think there's two benefits. One, you feel good about it yourself.
No doubt, no doubt.
And two, you begin to appreciate what your parents did for you.
Sure.
Or an uncle did for you, or a friend did for you. And that it's something that probably that kid will do for another person when they grow up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just role modeling, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and we just need more of that. And you know, the different agencies, whether it be state, federal, county, local, they just need volunteers.
Yeah.
And we need to think how can, I mean, individuals, not how can I make a difference
Yeah.
in someone's life? And you start with that, then you grow that into how can I make a difference in the community?
Yeah.
You know, and it just grows, and you get enough people, you know, with that same like mind and interest, you know, you can change.
Yeah.
You know.
Ironically, and we didn't talk about this obviously, you know, but ironically, yesterday being Martin Luther King Day, and you know, City of St. Cloud did a day of service over at Hopkins Park.
Right.
You know, not the most promoted, really interesting, not the most promoted event of the year, you know, and a lot of entities celebrated MLK unity, and so, and I'm glad they did, because Kissimmee did it the week
Right.
prior, and so this weekend, not perfect weather, right? But love to see, as an example, you know, Chief Gerke, St. Cloud Police Department. See, he was over there yesterday at Hopkins Park. Didn't
Right.
have to be there.
Right.
You know, he's with his family. Here's a day off, you know. Took the time to, you know, wonderful, wonderful leader. Took the time to be there with a bunch of kids, you know, and doesn't have to do that. You know, doesn't run for office every 4 years. Didn't
Right.
have to do that. But yet I see him, you know, working with the kids, raking leaves and mentoring, you know, and so the one does make a difference.
It does.
And I know you do that. You know, I've known you for a long time, and, you know, here you are today, we're talking about it, you know, and I think that's what hope is, right? And, you know, Education Foundation, I mentioned that.
Right.
They're coming up in their 40th year of these type things. And, you know, you're reflecting back on somebody reading to another kid.
Yeah.
You know? That's why they do it. That's why they do it, you know?
Yeah. And I think most people want a better community, and a better community includes lifting up, not tearing down.
Yeah, straight
Right?
up, straight up.
And so, and looking at it from a selfish point of view,
Right.
I mean, it makes you feel good. I mean, you're rewarded by helping others because you can make a difference in that person's life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a child. It could be an elder person. It could just be something where you can make a difference in some other life, you know. And so I think it's if we could come up with a way to make it so appealing, I think you could basically change our society.
Absolutely.
I really do.
What was the saying? Of course, a small group of people can, I won't even get into the quoting today, but can make it, I'm going to say it incorrectly, but a small group of dedicated people can make a difference, and that's why, well, that's all it's ever been.
Right.
That's always been that
Right.
case. You know, and we talk about, and I'll have to go back and fix that quote later, but we talk about, you know, it takes a village, and
It does.
and that does resonate greatly, but it's still always part of that village is the one or small group of people
Right.
saying, I want to do that to help.
Yeah, we need more of those individuals.
Yeah.
And it could make a huge difference, whether it be for the homeless, whether it be for child literacy,
Right.
or, you know, overcoming some barriers, you know, if you're Hispanic, you know, giving them, you know, reason to feel confident. You know, that is so important.
Agreed. Well, I had about 15 things coming to my mind. You're just saying that. We'll talk about it offline, but I know Lisa and I are friends with Amanda Kelkenberg, and she is the CEO. I believe she's CEO. She is CEO of the Early Learning Coalition of Osceola County. Great organization. And I hear rumors that she's a Buffalo Bills fan. Just thought I'd put that out there. But I will talk about this offline. See if maybe we talk to her sometime soon.
Absolutely, I'd love to have
a great leader, great organization, great team. So we'll chat about that.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it is maybe the public doesn't know how they can help.
Yeah.
And so I think if the community leaders could put the show on the road,
right,
and educate people, this is how you can help, and it's not difficult, and it's
right,
not time consuming. So I think it's a two-way street, and I think it's the leaders who really have to reach out to individuals and market themselves. This is what we need. This is how you can help. We're not asking for a big time commitment, but it could make a big difference. And so maybe that's the way to go, rather than having the individuals in public think, well, what can I do?
Right.
But the reading program, most people probably don't know that that's available,
sure,
and they're looking for volunteers. So maybe that's the way to go. I don't know.
Well, certainly this could be the birth of many conversations that will be happening here shortly. Well, I mean, I think we need to talk more about that for sure. I love it. I think that service in a humble and a valuable way is never going to go out of fashion.
No.
And if anything, it's certainly more important than it was when you first started experiencing as a leader of the community. So thanks. We're glad we get to talk about it today.
Well, it's a good topic to be. It really is so important for our society and our community. We definitely need to open that dialogue and understanding. It's the public needs to say, what can I do to make a difference? And I think if you do it collectively, it's not a big intrusion on your life.
No question.
No
question.
And the outcome is, phenomenal.
Got it. Well, welcome to part one. I'm sure there'll be part two shortly. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Very much.
Thanks for having me.
Love the
Great
place.
topic.
Love what you've done with the place. A couple times, a couple decades worth it. So again, just since we're here with you, let's go ahead and do it. And this is not why we were talking today, but I'm gonna force the man or ask the man to one more time, just for those people who do have a need for what you do in the community, right, in a business sense. Give us one more time how they get a hold of you and where you are, please.
Okay, so we're located at 705 West Emma Street, right across the street from the courthouse, between Conrad Thompson Funeral Home and Grissom Funeral Home.
Bam!
And,
nailed it.
Our telephone number is 407-846-0075, or you can see us on our website, www.draperlawoffice.com.
Great.
And, if you're in the neighborhood, feel free to stop by. If we're available, we'll definitely fit you in. If not, make an appointment. We'd love to just sit and chat with you and see if we can help you.
Nice. And might even run into a cat while you're here. Haven't today, but you could. You could. Well, we appreciate your time very much, and like you said, literally right across today from the courthouse. So appreciate it. You're very busy. Love the conversation. I think that was part one.
It's an interesting topic.
It is one we shall follow up. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola here with Charlie Draper of Draper Law Office, making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.